Well, speaking of stocks, first things first, Kanishka, let's take a look at the handover coming in from Wall Street. And it's not a very pretty one at that.
That is correct. Very good morning, first of all, Shreyansi. Now, speaking of the US market, well, Wall Street ended its three-day rally as the Dow closed more than 100 points lower. The S&P 500 dropped 1% as traders brace for new auto tariffs. Now, the US tariffs really seem to be the buzzword spreading uncertainty across the board. Well, stocks on Wall Street declined, led lower by tech as pressure on the tariff front mounted. S&P 500 lost more than 1%, while the Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 132 points or 0.3%. Now, the Nasdaq, that is the tech-heavy index, shared over 2% as Nvidia is dropped nearly 6%. Major tech names such as Meta Platforms and Amazon dropped more than 2%, while Alphabet lost more than 3%. Tesla slid more than 5%. Now, the stocks in the US hit session lows after the White House said that President Trump will unveil new tariffs on auto imports during a press conference. Now, General Motors and Stellantis each tumbled more than 3%.
Well, absolutely. That's what the handover then is looking like. And indeed, tariffs are the talk of the town at this point because you do have that April 2nd deadline that is looming at this point. But with that in mind, let's also take a look at the handover coming in as far as oil is then concerned, because you did have oil prices rising, both by government data also showing that US crude oil and fuel inventories fell last week. You do also have mounting concerns about tighter global supply following the US threat of tariffs. That is something, like I mentioned, is very important even when it comes to the oil markets. But Brent crude currently, when you take a look at the handover, 1% uptick thereabout coming in, $73 a barrel is the kind of level that you're looking at for Brent as well. And US WTI then 0.9% uptick, nearly a 1% uptick coming in for US WTI as well. $69 a barrel is the level that you're marking as far as US WTI is concerned as well. Both benchmarks, in fact, rose more than $1 a barrel during the session. So good moves coming in as far as Wednesday's session is concerned. But you do have US crude oil inventories, like I mentioned, that fell last week. Refiners did continue to ramp up production. You also have gasoline and distillate stockpiles that also dropped. So it's a good picture as far as US crude oil inventories are concerned. It's looking decent for demand. So let's really see how that pans out for us as far as oil is concerned, Kanishka.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.